Well, hi, everybody. This is Saad. It's been a few weeks since my last Saad Truth clip. I was away with the family in Portugal for a bit more than 2 weeks, the first 12 days of which we spent in the Algarve region. We did quite a bit of the towns and beaches in the Algarve. Absolutely gorgeous, really reminded me of a mix of Southern California and Lebanon. Many of the little alleys and cobble streets and the luminosity of the sun really reminded me of Lebanon, and as I said, Southern California. Not too many insects, very dry weather, and so I felt really at ease. We maybe ate a bit too much, and so the last few days I've been back on the diet, trimming back to my usual weight. uh, and then we went to Lisbon for about 3, 4 days. Well, we got there on a Monday and left on Thursday. Gorgeous. Lisbon is gorgeous. Overrun with tourists, so that was a bit annoying. And also, I think if I had only one negative thing to say about Portugal, and certainly Lisbon, the amount of hounding and solicitation that you receive, people trying to get you into their restaurant, buy stuff from them, give them money. It's just literally every 5 meters. So it can get quite daunting to have to navigate through all that. But other than that, it was an amazing uh, trip. Always magical to get away with the family, interact with the kids, with the wife. So it was all great. But today, what I want to talk about is one special moment that I experienced during the current trip. But really, this is something that I've been fortunate enough to have throughout my life, which is the serendipity of these random interactions with strangers that turn out into very enriching snippets of happiness. And so we were sitting at the waterfront in Lisbon the first day that we'd gotten there. We meaning my wife and kids and I, and just hanging out. Very kind of tired, having driven for about 3 hours from the Algarve to Lisbon. And a gentleman a gentleman sat next to me, and as I turned and I smiled at him, he smiled at me, and he said that hi. I reciprocated the hello, and then he said, "Do you mind if I ask you a request?" I said, "Sure, go ahead." He goes, "Well, I hope I get this part right. I'm here on doing a course in photography or something to that effect, and one of the, I guess, assignments that they're doing, or as part of this project, is to identify people, on the street, ask if he can take their picture, then ask their name, and what are their two, secrets to happiness," which is, of course, quite a fortuitous situation, given that I have a book on happiness right here, The Saad Truth About Happiness, that will be out not this Tuesday, not in 2 days, but in 9 days. It'll be released. So I do hope that you'll pre-order it, as soon as possible. If not, order it when it comes out. And so, I said, sure. I said, "Would you mind if I ask, why did you specifically pick me? Can you gauge if somebody's going to be, open to such a request?" He said, "Well, I don't want to sound arrogant or whatever." He said, "Well, you have a very, whatever, striking face that I thought would be great to photograph, and you seemed like a nice person," and so on. And so I told him that I had this book coming out on happiness, and then he took my photo. I signed his book, what my name is, my age, and some of my secrets to happiness. I chose 3 of them from my book. Choose the right spouse, choose a profession that allows you to instantiate your creative impulse, that allows you, and hence increases your likelihood of having purpose and meaning in your profession. And then number 3, life as a playground. And then we started chatting. It turns out that he's from San Francisco. And so then he might actually come on August 8th. I'll be speaking at the Commonwealth Club. I'm honored and delighted that they've asked me to speak about my forthcoming book there. So he might come to that. And then we started talking. He's originally, I think, from South Africa, and I told him that I wanted to really maybe go to Namibia next year, which borders South Africa. He said that he's been to Namibia, and so we just had this really lovely moment that came out of nowhere, right? And so I think one of the secrets to happiness in life is to have that open spirit. I think you exude that to the world. When you're walking around in the world, people can either feel, oh, this is someone that's approachable. This is someone that seems as though they're sending cues that they can be approached or not. And I think that when you do send out the appropriate cues, I'm not saying that you should speak to every random person on the street. Obviously, there's a sweet spot, which is something else that I discuss in the forthcoming book. I have a whole chapter on the idea of finding the sweet spot, everything in moderation and so on. And so it was just such a lovely moment, so that even, with all of the topographical beauty of Portugal and the, see-through water of the sea, jumping off these beautiful cliffs into this gorgeous water, glorious luminosity of the Portuguese sun, and so on. Great food, unbelievable food, and sweets and natas and all kinds of crazy food that I would otherwise never eat. One of the things that will remain memorable is that sweet, fleeting moment with a stranger. And so I think there's a real lesson there in terms of, the pursuit of happiness. Part of the pursuit of happiness is to have an open spirit, which can then be instantiated in all kinds of ways. Your open spirit when you're doing your science, your open spirit when you are walking down the street. I was truly humbled by the fact that there were many people that came up to me in Portugal who recognized me and chatted with me. And I should say I haven't responded to them yet, and I hope that I'll have a chance to. I received a wonderful invitation to visit a winery in Portugal because apparently they're fans and so on. So all that comes from the fact that I think one exudes a certain positivity and then people respond to it. So just wanted to share that story with you. To all those who either wrote to me and I haven't had a chance to write back, I'm truly sorry. I try to read every single message. If I don't respond to you, please don't be offended. It only stems from the fact that it becomes difficult to answer everybody. And I specifically did not read or respond to anyone, certainly when I was on vacation. If anything, I only posted on social media things that were related to the vacation, because I only wanted to navigate through positivity. And frankly, it really did me a lot of good to not look at, weigh in on any of the craziness that one typically is exposed to whenever they go on social media. Yes, it's part of what I do, which is to be a social and cultural commentator. But by the very nature of doing that, you're always mired in all sorts of negative nonsense. And so it was just good to get away, only be interacting with positive people, only interacting with the loving glow of my family. I wish that for everybody. Very, very excited about the media tour that's about to start. I already had, just the day after I returned to Montreal, I had a two chats actually with Jordan Peterson for his show. One was a 2-hour chat, I think, that he posts on YouTube, and then another 30-minute chat, separate chat, which he then posts to his subscribers for the Daily Wire Plus, I think. And so very much looking forward for those conversations to come out. It's always such a joy to chat with Jordan. Contrary to what many people think, he's just such a delightful, decent guy. Truly a good friend. Tomorrow I'll be speaking with Dave Rubin. I'll be hosting on my show a psychiatrist who has a forthcoming book on the whole transgender issue. Then on Tuesday, I'm hosting Christopher Rufo, who's got a book coming out and appearing on a whole bunch of shows. Actually, the day that my book will be released on July 25th, I'll be in Texas appearing on Joe Rogan's show. So a lot of appearances over the next few weeks. Hope you're all having a great summer. It's great to be back. I missed you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers, everybody.